But secular TV is kind of a YouTube version of atheist TV, or at least that's what they want it to be. The guys who started it out actually doing stuff with Johnny.
Brotherton?
No. Is it Brotherton? Maybe it's Brotherton.
And Katie? Johnny
Yes.
and Katie? Yes. It's Brotherton.
I just think Johnny's secular for whatever reason.
That is what he goes by.
Yes.
Johnny be secular.
Yes. So that's looking. What is his last name? Anywho, but they've got the thing. Anyways,
Tom can't think today.
whatever he's got going on, they were part of that, and they wanted to do something different, so they separated
Okay.
and started secular TV.
Cool.
Anyhow, hello, This is why we have editing software.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist, and this is No Old White Guys, because I am an old white guy, and that only makes sense, of course. And this is secular TV. So I am talking to people who are anything but former Christian white males, because growing up, that's what atheism was to me. That everyone who was an atheist was a former Christian white male. And it wasn't until I got older that I found out that there were a lot more religions that had atheists. And, well, women can be atheists too, believe it or not.
Really?
And I'm here with Lindsay Kirkman, who is a, what are you?
I mean, I'm an atheist, but I really like science, and with all of the science fiction movies and everything coming out, it really sparks the brain to think about, oh, maybe there is something else out there. I don't think it's a man with balls sitting in the sky directing our lives.
Yeah. So growing up, what was your religious affiliation with your family?
I
Were they
was
religious?
Southern Baptist. They were religious, but my parents were the type of parents that would send me off to Sunday school so they could get a break from me. And they would send me off to summer camp so they can get a break from me. And they...
A very similar situation.
Well, they would go every once in a while, like Easter and Christmas and all that, but it wasn't like an every Sunday thing that they would go.
Yeah.
That they would send me to go, and my brother.
So at what point did you start questioning your faith and questioning what you were being told?
I didn't question until someone asked me a question, which is really sad, but I told a guy that I didn't think we could be together because it was getting serious, and I wanted to have babies down the road, and I didn't want an atheist man influencing my child. So I'm really different from that now.
I've actually had a couple breakups for the exact same reason.
Yeah, I mean, it is a deal breaker for a lot of people, but anyway, after I told him that I didn't think we could be together, he started asking me questions, which I fully expected him to say, oh, well, this sucks, I don't understand, this is out of the blue, but he was determined to keep me around for some reason.
I can't imagine why. That seems a complete mystery.
It is, because I was not a nice person back then. Anyway, so he asked me very simply, well, why do you believe that? Why do you believe that we couldn't raise a child together? Why do you believe that it needs to be Christian? Why do you believe in what you believe in? And I did not have a good answer at all. I was like, it's what I've been raised to believe. He said, well, don't you think you need to question that a little bit? Because it might ruin our whole relationship. So I did, and we talked about it, and I cried because, of course, it's like an emotional meltdown of, oh my God, my whole life has been a lie. My parents have lied to me. My youth pastor has lied to me, of course. And it was just a shocking thing for me.
So how did your family respond to your losing of faith? I mean, was there a point where you had to tell them, or?
I have told them, and I think they knew that I was different because I'm kind of the black sheep, but they're all really proud of me because I have a career and all this other stuff. But I told them very plainly when I moved back home at 24 years old after a divorce and everything, and they wanted me to go to church with them, and I was very against it because if I had a God, or if there was a God, why would he be punishing me the way that he is? And I was already atheist. I think they knew it.
Yeah.
But when I was going through this emotional, distraught time in my life, I basically was very, very angry, and the angry atheist, like F this and F that. That's how I was. So I was actually living with my grandpa in the the question came up, well, why don't you ever go to church with me? Because he goes every Sunday.
Yeah.
Church music is on all day, every day. And I finally said, because I'm an atheist and I don't want to go and I don't enjoy it. From that point on, my relationship with my grandfather changed. From that point on, my relationships with all of his children changed.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty much the outsider of my family. Not in a terrible way. I mean, they don't always not invite me to things.
Yeah.
But if we're going to a certain aunt's house, they won't invite me. If they're getting together for a family get-together and it's last minute, they won't even think to call me.
Yeah.
So things have changed, but
Yeah.
I've met people here, and I've met people online, and I've met people where I work who won't say it out loud, but we've become really good friends because we think the same way and we read the same things and we look up to the same people. So it's been a good thing for my life.
Yeah, it's funny for a lot of people, and I point this out that, you know, when you lose your religion, you're often ostracized.
Oh, yeah.
It's like you're no longer part of the fold, so you're no longer part of the family, which seems it's like Christians are supposed to be these loving, warm people, and yet if you don't believe what they believe, all of a sudden you're a bad person, which...
You would think, they think that you're eternally damned.
Yeah.
They think that what they believe is going to save you. So
Yeah.
why don't they talk to you about it? Why do they just ignore you? I don't understand it.
It makes you wonder if they're distancing themselves from you, so when you go to hell, they won't get burned.
Maybe.
It's like, I love you, but I don't want the fire, so
Yeah. I think
I'll
a
be
lot
over
of
here.
them question their own faith and don't want to be questioned about it.
Yes, I completely agree. Most people, they ostracize the faithless because they don't want their faith to be tested.
Yeah.
Because they already know it's pretty weak.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
their arguments for believing are pretty damn weak.
Sad.
And,
They're very sad.
I mean, my little sister said, I'm scared to death to tell you what I believe. It's like, that should tell you something. I mean, why would you be afraid to tell me what you believe? I mean, you're my sister, so I'm not making fun of you.
Yeah.
And if you're so worried I'm going to make fun of what you believe, then...
Maybe you should evaluate your choices.
Yeah. Maybe what you believe is not, something worth believing in. So to be that sensitive, but it is difficult. I'm very fortunate where I've been an atheist. My parents knew I was an atheist before I knew I was an atheist.
Oh, wow.
So nothing really ever changed. They always figured I'd grow out of it.
Yeah.
Actually, I found out they did believe later in life, and I was like, "What?
You do?"
Yeah, you actually believe that stuff? So while they were expecting me to grow out of it, I was expecting them to, grow up. And this is one of the reasons why they hate me so much, because I make fun of them.
I actually had a really good experience with my brother. Some families do the ostracization, and I actually went to see a church performance on Easter the year that I moved back, and he was one of the main characters in that play. And so he was really into church. He had just had a baby. He was trying to lead a really wholesome life. And then I get this boyfriend named Joey, and we start talking to him about, why do you believe this, and why are you going to church, and you know that there's abuse and rape and genocide and all this other stuff in the Bible, so why do you think that that's a good place to raise your child? Well, it took a little while, but now he's secular, and his wife goes to church. He doesn't. They are still raising their child in church, but he's made a huge step.
Yeah.
In just 5 years, he's made a huge step towards a happier life, and he is much happier.
Well, we often talk about the, recovering from religion, because it's a process. When you believe something your entire life, it takes a while to get over that.
Oh, yeah.
You can't just one day say, everything I believed in is wrong, so I'm going to believe something different.
Yeah, you can't do that with anything.
I mean,
Big changes like that are hard.
It needs to be replaced by something else, and it's difficult to say you're wrong.
Yeah.
So
none of us want to say that. That's like when you get in a fight with a Joey or something.
But when we speak of Joey, we are speaking of this Joey Kirkman. Same name. What a coincidence.
Oh my gosh.
It's like you're married or something. Who is the author of Bedtime Bible Stories. And that is a big activism thing for him and you. So were you were involved with him before this, I'm assuming?
We were.
Because I don't know the whole story.
Well,
Tell me the whole story.
We've been together for almost 6 years now. I met him fresh out of my divorce, and he actually was the one helping me through it. He was my support system because all that stuff went down my grandpa.
And an atheist was helping him?
He was the
God
sweetest
forbid.
guy ever. And I knew he was such a good guy, so I pursued him, and I made sure I was going to get him. So I did get him.
I'm
and
sure he was fighting you off with a stick.
yes, every step of the way. He wanted other people, told me to get away from him. Just kidding. Anyway, so we started hanging out, eventually became boyfriend and girlfriend, and moved in together, and I don't know, his activism kind of rose up a few notches in the beginning of our relationship, and I actually told him one time, I need you to chill on that because my family, blah, blah, blah. He tried really hard, but it's something in him, it's just like a burning fire. He cannot stop it.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, we made adjustments, and now I fully support what he does because I've seen the damage done in my own family. I've seen the damage done with other people's families. Where I work, people are really getting damaged by it because it's in a very highly emotional environment, the ICU. And people decide not to do treatments on their loved ones because they're going to let go and let God.
Yeah.
And they think that coming to see their loved one at the end of their life is enough love because they're going to heaven, they're going to see them again later. And I don't know, throughout the 6 years we've been together, I've just seen his activism grow, and this is what he's supposed to be doing. This is, if you believe in a purpose in your life, this is his purpose, to stop religious harm. And I fully support that because I've been a victim of that too.
It's hard to imagine that religion harms people, but believing something that is not true, and that's blatantly not true, can be very harmful. I mean, it's destructive to a lot of families to give their savings to a church because the church tells them, we need your money
and that's happened multiple
to be saved,
times.
And it tears people apart. Say, you have to believe this, and if you don't believe this, you're not part of this, and you have to hate everyone else who doesn't believe this. And religion really does teach hate. It teaches you to be prejudiced. It teaches you to be,
to not question anything.
Well, to not question.
It teaches, for me, it's the women and children in churches that really bothers me because I've been there. I've been a female child. I've been a woman in a church. I've been approached by pastors who talk down to me because I'm a woman.
Yeah.
And it really is, it's too much. They're teaching women that they're not worthy to even speak. They're teaching women that they need to question what they can do with their own bodies. Yeah. They need to question everything in their marriage their husband controls. It's not an equal marriage, and that's not what I believe in. And the children are being taught from a very young age, infancy sometimes, that they need to look up to their fathers for every single thing. And you know what? Moms can teach people a lot. But they're also being indoctrinated not to question authority. I don't like that. Because sometimes you need to ask questions to get things moving in the right direction. Like my ex asked me the question of why I was religious and why I believed what I did. And because of that one question, my life took a turn. And children need to do that. They need to critically think about things and not just accept that they're here because a man in the sky gave him to their parents or whatever they decide to use that scenario for. But anyway.
And I said you're the black sheep of the family. Now, and your brother is moving towards being less religious.
Yes.
And has anyone else in your family kind of knowing that you were the atheist? Have they come to you and say, I don't know if I believe either?
A lot of my family's not really that religious. The side that is really, I'm kind of not really that involved in them anyway. But my aunts, a lot of people in my family think that my aunt is a bitch, and they think that she's a redneck and all that. But she has come out to be one of the biggest supporters of my husband and I, and I just didn't see that coming. I love the woman. She raised me, basically. She helped my parents a whole lot, and I just didn't see her being the one. I don't know why, because she's never mentioned church. She's never mentioned what's right or wrong or sinful. It totally fits now, but she has been the big surprise in this whole scenario. My brother too. It took a little work, but It's been really good. My parents are a little less religious than they
Yeah.
were because I played Bible or Quran with my mom at a coffee shop, and she could not tell which verse came from the Bible and which verse came from the Quran, and it was fun because it showed her that the Bible has some evil crap in it too.
Yeah. It's funny that most religious people, I don't think they want to know what's written in the Bible because it is horrific stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, another shameless plug for Joey and Lindsay, Bedtime Bible Stories has a lot of stories basically showing how horrific the Bible is. I mean, there's some, the story of Noah. What a lovely children's story.
And there's
This,
the drowning baby and all the piggies, all these cute little animals.
God committed genocide so many times, and how did he show his love for his people? He drowned them all.
Yep.
It's like
he killed them all multiple times.
It's like you didn't do what I want you to do. You don't believe in me. You don't love me. So you're all going. You're going. So long. Try it again and again and again.
Let me
and
just
again.
send some locusts because you're not doing what I want you to do.
It's like it's like it's your creation. Why didn't you get it right?
You're all knowing, so you knew this would happen.
So, what do you see in the future for your part of activism? You come to a lot of these conferences, and I know Joey supports it financially, and you guys have a table set up here, and you sell the books, and you got a couple new books coming out, and the stolen Bibles, which that money goes for.
Recovering from religion. We charge $20 for the Bibles that we steal and get atheist activists to sign. And then we donate all of those proceeds to Recovering from Religion because it's such a wonderful program. Sarah Moorhead heads it up. This is just a baby in her mind just a few years ago, and it has blown up, and it's wonderful. And just like you and I probably took years to work through all the muck in our brain that religion left behind, she's talking people sometimes down from the ledge, little 12-year-olds that think that their parents won't love them anymore because they're not religious or they're questioning. So it's a really good program. We fully support it.
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult for kids, especially because they don't know what to believe. They're looking towards their parents to tell them what to believe, and they're told about Santa Claus, and then they're told Santa Claus isn't actually real, and they're told about God, and like me, I was waiting for my parents to tell me God wasn't real. I just assumed God wasn't real, and then I was like, "You really, God? You don't think God? You think God is real? Really?" So it's just
we lied to you about the Tooth Fairy, and we lied to you about Santa. Why don't you believe us right now?
So it's difficult for a child to know what to believe, and when they question it, they love their parents and they don't want to question what their parents have told them. And when you question religion, it can get rather dicey.
It can, but you know what? The people that leave your life are not going to make it any better in any matter. They leave your life, and usually negativity and hostility live with it, and that's great to me. Hate that it's my family sometimes, but you know what? I've created my life with wonderful people in it, like you and Joe and all these other activists that I've met. And I don't want to mention names because I know I'll leave somebody out. So this whole community just means a lot to me.
Well, we're a gateway to reason right now, and unfortunately, being a supporter kind of means you miss out on the actual conference, which is kind of a drag. Though a lot of these presentations are later on YouTube. Like, YouTube's got it all. If you're an atheist, YouTube is the place to go.
Search.
But
we like to catch up on those when we get home because a lot of our friends are the speakers, and I never get to hear them talk. Unless I'm involved in their talks. That's only been one time.
You get to party afterwards.
That's the best part.
So what other things besides doing conferences are you guys doing? I mean,
right now we're really focusing on the books. Joey's mind explodes with all these really good ideas for books and everything, and I'm just kind of here to support that. I have not had the torturous background that a lot of people have. I've, a little rift in my family here and there. It's not been terrible. So I don't have this huge baggage. But Joey talks to so many people and he's gone through his own, situations and his family and his childhood. And he's got a lot to say, and because he talks to so many people, he has a lot of different viewpoints. So I'm really just here to be a supporter for him because I just really like what he does, and I like the person that he is, and I've seen him help people. One person actually said to me one time, does he actually think he's going to change the world with all this books and atheism and all that? And I said, well, he's got an inbox full of people saying thank you and you helped me in this situation. And one guy who used to be in the KKK, used to have shirts that say white power, is now on our team. He supports everything that Joey does, everything that we go to in the secular community, in our community, he goes to and supports. If he can't, he'll buy a book from Joey. He'll donate to, Stephanie Guttersman. He actually donated to her. And this is somebody who very recently, within the past 2 years, just left the KKK. And he stumbled across Joey in a Fox News thread. And that's how he was introduced to atheism and logical thinking and rational thought. And it's strange how social media can pull us apart or bring us together.
I think one thing most people don't realize, it's like I never say I'm not trying to change anyone's mind. I'm just trying to open it. And opening somebody's mind not only affects that person, but it affects their kids. It affects everyone downstream from them. If you can change one mind to be more questioning about what religion has taught them, you could literally be changing thousands of minds eventually. So
that same guy, he actually said that his children's lives are better because of what he reads from Joey and what he's found out. So I think what he does is very important. I think what all the activists here do is very important. I'm just here to support you all. I'll bring you sandwiches and stuff.
Well, it's nice for those who have this community to find like-minded people and just be able to socialize and not worry about what we're saying, not worry about you're going to offend anybody, because most atheists are we're kind of over that stage of being offended by silly nonsense, because what we believe is based on facts, based on reality. So if somebody says well, this is bullshit, well, show me why it's bullshit and you'll change my mind. Unlike religion, it's bullshit, but you can't question it. You have to just accept it because it's written in the Bible. It's
science is bullshit, so you can't support anything with science because it's bullshit. Sorry for language.
That's fine. It's the internet. You can say anything you want. Anyways, I thank you very much for sitting down and talking to me.
Thank you for interviewing me.
Lindsay Kirkman, and I am Tom, your friendly neighborhood atheist, and this is Secular TV. And you can find Joey and you at
JoeyLeeKirkman.com. His books are available on Amazon.com, DogsBeenDebate.com, or his website, JoeyLeeKirkman.com.
It is Bedtime Bible Stories, explicit, fun stuff, not necessarily for the kids.
And PR Pope is coming out in 6 weeks. We will be at Apostacon in Dallas, Texas in 6 weeks. If you haven't gotten your tickets, you really need to come because it's going to be a great time. Costume party, family-friendly environment. Tom will be there. I'll be there. Joey will be there. I think everybody that's been here at the conference will be there. So come if you haven't gotten your tickets yet.
And you can find me otherwise at Tom the Atheist on. Just Google it, you'll find me. And this is Secular TV, and thank you very much for watching.
Thank you.
Easy peasy.